Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the CDL Stage 1 Major. Oh boy, it has been a heck of a day so far, and now we've got a few more games still to come. Elimination one's up next. Study, I decided to tape back up my bracket, and it's gone again, my friend. It's gone. No use for it. It's going straight in the garbage. How you feeling after that last series, by the way? Crazy stuff.
Oh my God, that last series just had me out of my chair. All the way to go to a Game 5 between those two teams, those two juggernauts. There's no better ending to that. Congratulations to the Empire winning that series.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for some, maybe even some better games. Is that even possible? Game 5, round 11? Who knows? But obviously we have got a great one, again, an elimination match. Let's go and meet our first team, the New York Subliners.
Don't let us down. Bring home a championship. Not 1, not 2, maybe 3 or 4.
Yo, Clayster, you don't bring home the championship, you out of here, boy.
Hey, if there's one thing about the city that I understand, it's that they don't tolerate losing.
He's in from behind again. Clayster with 2.
So I'm bringing championships. We're bringing them by the dozen.
Just make sure the snipes is hitting. Headshots only. Anything higher than the headshot is uncivilized.
What a Zuma is? Zoom? He's on Zoom meeting?
The stallion is frying. The stallion is cooking.
Not quite what I was thinking.
You guys are gonna kill it out there.
Good luck this season.
Thank you guys so much. This season's for y'all.
Subliners, way to go. New York's behind you 100%.
We're bringing a championship to New York City.
New York, truly a terrifying team, really, when you kind of look at this group on paper, Study. But again, this team coming off of a loss, obviously roster we actually just got to see in our last series. They lose to Chicago, and it was a pretty nice 3-0 in favor of the boys in green. I gotta ask you, how confident are you in NYSL rebounding today?
Oh, I'm really confident, especially with a player like Clayster on your team. 3-time world champion, he's been in this position before. Obviously, you have basically 3 rookies on your team that he has to make sure he rounds them all together and tries to keep the composure for this match, because throughout stage 1, these guys were performing versus the best. And then we saw them on their very first match versus Chicago. Wasn't the same NYSL. So I'm looking forward to see if they can bounce back today versus Florida.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that guy on our screen for a brief moment. Clayster, a lot to prove. Doesn't have the greatest last series, but boy, has Cold War treated him quite nicely. You hear the talks of ARs? Yeah, we've got a few more on the other side, that being the Florida Mutineers.
The dictionary defines redemption as the deliverance of persons or things from the possession and power of captors.
It is a 3-0 victory over the Florida Mutineers.
As the act of making something better. As the act of making up for a loss.
It is over, and that is a shocker for the Mutineers.
We define it as inevitable. You can count our KD. You can count our headshots. You can count our hill time. What you can't do is count us out.
Fear the Deep indeed. Another obviously very solid looking roster coming into today. What, starting off of 2 nice wins versus Seattle, Paris yesterday. I think it was Nameless who was talking about this kind of in preparation for this game. The ARs, they have been on point.
Yeah, man, Caesar Skies is still investing in his game, man. The guy has been performing ever since the Major has started. Awakening, big wake. We know exactly what you're getting out of that guy. A montage basically every single map. So when you're looking at this team, I was looking at tremendous step up yesterday from Slack, especially in those hard points. He was really leading these guys, especially because a lot of those maps went all the way to the very end. They had that clutch gene. Hopefully they can keep that up today versus NYSL.
And a quick little look at our maps and modes. Garrison, straight checkmates, and then a good old Miami at the end. Oh boy, I hope you like checkmate. It's going to be fun, right? We just had a nice little round 11 to close out the E-Classico, and maybe we'll be treated with a few good modes there as well. Hope we get to see every single checkmate study. Just make sure we at least have a game 4 insured. But when we talk with both of these teams, I think it's kind of fair to say, and I know we've talked a lot about the ARs, but Clayster, Diamondcon, fully from the NYSL side, and then from Florida. Obviously, you're looking at Awakening, you're looking at Skies, two players from each team that can easily make a major difference. In the 3-0 loss yesterday that NYSL suffered, it was kind of the AR struggling a decent amount. Clayster, Diamondcon just not having that same performance. I'm interested to see who can win that battle early on here on some good old Garrison.
Yeah, and on a map like Garrison, this is a great way to start, man. Your sub players are going to be warm. You're going to be looking at Slack and Neptune to try to make sure they're trying to flip those spawns with those submachine guns, but just trying to keep control of that top green as well, because top green is the most important position on this map. So far, you're going to have the Mutineers on the good side going into P2. So they're going to hop in, Clayster with 2 right off the rip. Here comes Slack with the trade, but it's going to be 3 down for the Mutineers.
He called it properly. Slack, without a doubt, had a phenomenal series yesterday as Awakening starting things off 3-0. Really, everybody from this Mutineers team, especially in that Seattle to go. I mean, it was the definition of a team W. Everybody going off, everybody having their moments, and yesterday, it was the veteran, Josiah Berry, going big for the team. There's 25 seconds left now in this P1. Some good entry kills from the SMGs. Neptune looking to try and stay up as Clayster will win the fight, and now it's the race over toward our next hill. We call it a money hill. You can get a lot of time on this bad boy. That's a nice early win coming in from Asim.
Yeah, that's huge for Asim right there. Now he's going to be positioning himself in towards bricks. He's going to try to stay alive for his team, but he's going to drop, so that's going to put the Mutineers now fully set up. Besides Clayster sitting on this tank, he's going to drop as well. So now the Mutineers are fully set up. They should be able to put some time on the clock here. If you're the subliners, you need to work around bricks. You need to work around the middle side of the map to try to flip them or try to pinch them off this hard point. But you also got to keep in mind that P3 can be a full 60, so you don't want to be too aggressive on that brick side if the kills aren't going in your favor.
Yeah, we see so many teams, right? They'll try to invest in making the flank through bricks, and little do they know they're really fighting for about 15 seconds. Meanwhile, the other team's on the other side of the map just grabbing every single one of them. But here we go. 25 seconds left. The push is in, and NY are going to clear the Mutineers out of the hard point. And really in the midst of this, as we're taking a look at that kind of rotation fight, player 5 versus player 3, that is going to be Asim looking for a big one. As Diamondcon trying to do some work through the mid-map. So at least for now, Asim, he's going to kind of rely on trying to make the push through that back garage side. But you notice Slack is clear and aware of it. And once they wipe him away, Mutineers have some time to breathe. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They managed to take down Asim. Now they're looking good, at least off the start here.
Yeah, the Mutineers just rotated to that perfectly. And they knew Asim was the only player on the backside, but seen the players from the Mutineers when they came off spawn, just trying to cut off middle, focus on all the other players on the side of New York. And that's exactly what they did. They just focused on Asim being the only player back there. Now they are fully set up, have the potential to get a full 60 and open this game wide open. If you're New York, at this point with only 25 seconds remaining, you want to start setting up for P4. You want to trap these guys in towards this backside. And it's looking like they're going to be aggressive on that point, but Skies is on a 5-kill spree, trying to work towards some streaks.
Diamondcon hanging out in the hill as they'll possibly get cleaned out. Skies wasn't aware of it, thought his teammate already had the trade. The Mutineers will be grabbing the remaining time. Now we're looking at that next rotation, and really if you're subliners, as you get 3 down, you can really set up nicely in regards to these entry points. If you can hold down artillery, you've also got Clayster hanging out over at Caution. Talk about kind of P2, P3. We've seen some teams recently get some good time here at bottom floating. As Mack continues to stay alive, NYSL looking in a pretty good spot to maybe bring this one back, but Slack to the flank. Trade should be there from Asim, but it's not. Again, Slack goes big for the team. Diamondcon ends up falling from the side, and with 30 seconds left, it's time to listen to the comms. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listening with the subliners.
Hitting ammo. Right side, Tommy. Two time. Nice. One more in time.
Jumped off the stairs on you. Yo.
You're both under. Yo, I spawned out, Clay. Watch out.
He's under fridge on hill.
2 on it, 1 on hill. Box dead.
Top green weak.
Box is dead.
Get that time.
Got 2, there's 20 out. I'm pretty sure there's 20 out. It's good. That's good. We're fine.
He was green, jumped out on you. I got him, 1 shot on you.
Nice.
One more bricks. I hear
L, come.
Ali dead. I'm holding bricks right now. They're gonna spawn in the back.
Yo, I spawn here.
Yeah, they spawned
One stuck me, he's close to your step.
I'm holding in bricks. Zombie Jen's oil, top oil. Standing on top oil.
Oh my god.
Got him both, let's fucking go, man.
Let's go.
Push that man.
Yo, 20 in the back.
I'm playing all bricks. I have bricks. I heard you. I can't back. I buy right.
I'm gonna tell. I'm holding this
angle. Set out, we can eat dead. One more set out.
blocking.
He didn't hold.
Holding close bricks.
Back left tank. I'm gonna go help right
Main
again.
tank, get back left tank. I'm coming arches. Oh fuck, I'm blocking. I'm blocking.
Two back bricks door. I need it.
Go back left tank.
There's 35 bricks.
Main tank and on hill.
Trying to fill him in.
I spawned out flat. I spawned out gen.
There's 2x, 1 arch. 2x, 1 arch.
Yeah, there's
One arch and 2x.
And L dead.
I spawned out, boys. I spawned out.
They're gonna go
We got no trophy in time. Make it go. 20 bricks, right?
There's
20
bricks, all bricks.
Yo, Mack, go.
Spawn gens. One out. There's gonna be 2 green, 1 gens.
Heard you. He's above me green.
I'll look over green.
Flash, kinda in the clip. You went by plat. And one's green help as
Yo,
well.
I have time. Yo, bottom plat, top plat.
I'm coming back
He's on the arches.
Arches dead.
One in hill.
Top green weak.
I can hold your green.
I pinched
I'll
on.
hold it.
I'm gonna chop from L.
I'm pretty sure.
He's still green, Neptune.
I need your push on L.
Green clap.
I'm watching your slide on L. Bottom plat dead. One more bottom plat.
One in hill. Last kick green.
A nice comeback growing right now for New York. A much-needed transfer from that P5 to P1. Study, what'd you like from the comms there out of NY?
I just love how everyone is communicating with the intensity that they were. You saw Clayster, when we went for the listening, they were down by about 40 points. He says, all right, guys, turn up time. That's exactly what they do. They were able to kill all the players from the Mutineers off that P4, force them all towards the back tank, and now they do have the lead for the time being. And they're also going to have spawns for P2. So NYSL have really flipped the switch so far on this map. You're going to see the players from the Mutineers. They're trying to break through green. Clayster's going to be here, though. 5 spree for the veteran. He's going to eventually drop the slack, but Subliners, they're fully set up on this P2. If you're the Mutineers, you got to try to break it. You saw the rotation last time towards P3, but they need to get some time here before the Subliners open this game wide open.
Yeah, it's really, 3 hills in a row for New York. And speaking of streaks, as Diamondcon falls, it's really been the ARs from New York. You see Clay going on 5, Diamondcon going on 5, but the guy who can start to turn things around is Big Wake. He and Skies together can start to make some magic happen, and magic indeed. They wave their magic wands, the XM4s in disguise. They will be able to take the remaining seconds. But hey, again, if you're New York, not the worst of situations. Granted, you wanted to hold down that time at P2, but you're at least set up for that next hill. The Sky's trying to do some work through middle. It does have that 74U in the back pocket. So again, we talked about Skies, we talked about this kind of opening break. You've got a lot of pressure really up close from the Subliners, locking down that one portion, that one side of the map, but it is going to free up Awakening. He's trying to do and really deal some damage from the back lines behind Diamondcon, but that'll be the trade. So a great spot possibly for the Mutineers as they are able to get the team trades in their favor. Skies wins the big 1v1. And how about that break from Florida?
That's 2 huge breaks back to back, man. Getting the remaining 30 seconds on that P2 was huge, but the Subliners were fully set up there. A couple gunfights though going there. Where he sees the Skies investing in this game once again, man, when it takes a big 2-piece on the backside to flip these spawns. 3 are going to drop for them. That's going to be the 4th, and now the spawns are going to flip once again. So NYSL are going to get this remaining 20 seconds. But if you're the Mutineers, at least you guys had a chance to break into that hard point, not give up a full 60. Now, hopefully, they can get a better P4 this time. We're trying to hold top green, but as I say that, Awakening is going to drop. Diamondcon with the 2nd, Asim with the 3rd. So now, if you're NYSL, the best bet you can do is to try to take top green control. And it's looking like Diamondcon, since he's the only player around on this hill, just going to play his life as long as he can.
You got some interesting spawns as well for Florida, so they're going to converge on the hill and really wipe away New York. And really from Florida, as they're making a nice comeback right now, should be able to at least bring this one within 10, in either their advantage or not. But really, I mean, to start off, stage 1, they were 3-7 before the major. They are 3-1 since then, so a major improvement for these guys. You can tell that New York are having to give it their all. And Asim up close, early engagement with Skies. Florida looking to lock down the seconds. 20 really still left in the hill. And again, it comes down to that top green control. Slack's aware of it. And based off that mini-map, again, kind of in the opposite situation. It's now New York who have the great spot. Slacked again. That's going to be 4 in a row for him. 24-19. The only player who went positive in their series yesterday versus Paris continues to go big. And really for both of these teams, you've got a lot of young guys, but it's been the vets as of late locking things up as New York now set up for next. If Neptune has anything to say about it, big 1v1 and Neptune wins that one as well.
Yeah, and you see that number 3 player who's going to be in the back. It's going to be Slacked. Players are knowing, on the subliners, knowing that they're spawning back here now. Asim gonna go for the challenge on Disguise. It's gonna be 2 down now. If you're the Mutineers, you need to try to break out of this setup. That's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna have 3 players spawn at gens. So now if you're NYSL, it's all about just trying to hold, trying to build this lead, trying to close out this map. Number 1, 3 are gonna drop. The only players left is gonna be on this hill. Diamondcon trying to do everything he can, but he's gonna drop. So now if you're NYSL, look what they're doing. They're trying to fight for top green, because this is the only way they're gonna break out. They try to push towards lights. All the players from the Mutineers are going to read that easily, but Neptune with the big kill onto Clayster, able to take him down. So far, NYSL, they're trying everything they can, but Florida is reading it perfectly.
Sizable advantage for New York, but that can easily start to whisk away. Every single time we're going to an NY player, they continue to fall. That was a 7-team streak for a moment, granted for Florida. And I feel like every time we're on this guy's camera, he's picking up some big elims. Slacked, unfortunately, does get double teamed there toward inside dark. Florida able to get some good seconds, and you see where New York are spawning. Neptune, in the meanwhile, is on that streak. They could try to contest this for top green. They're able, given the right circumstances, to maybe pin these back and forth. But again, you've got Diamondcon, 34 and 22. He's had an excellent game, primed and ready. Florida, they're trying to pretty much balance both of these hills right now. They don't want to give away key 1. And in the meantime, Neptune from the back will be able to take down 1. 4 seconds left. New York are set up for new. We'll see how the break attempt looks as Neptune on that 7 streak is going to be able to call in the streaks. And that's a big one on Diamondcon. Slack jumps in.
That's 3 down. That's going to be 4. Now all of NYSL is going to spawn out on the opposite side of the map. The Mutineers are fully set up. Only needing another 20 points to close out this map. Number 1, if you are NYSL, you have 1 good push. You have to open it up with the kill. You see Neptune trying to play his life, able to take down Simp. They only need 10 seconds. It's going to be 3 down once again for NYSL. The only player left is going to be Mack. Do they have enough time to get to the point? I don't think so. Neptune with the late game heroics, picking up the streaks. 11 kill spree to close the game. Florida, take that map number 1.
Oh my God, look at the plays from Neptune, man. I tell you what, it looked like it was all New York. I mean, they had everything going in their favor. We're talking 20 seconds left. Florida, they literally have to challenge. Neptune has to go for a flank over at P1 just to make sure that it's not mathematically impossible or that New York can't grab the remaining seconds to close out the game. But the plays from the Røkkr, I mean, he has really gotten better with every series, but that is without a doubt one of the best hardpoints that we've seen from him. And it was a rookie v rookie battle. I know we'll take a look at the scorecard here in a moment, but I know Diamondcon had at least like 36, 37 kills. Yeah. On the other side, Neptune goes big toward the stretch, and you just kind of see what that does to momentum for New York. I know Clay, he's a little bit frustrated after that one.
Oh, man, that one stings if you're New York, man. You were getting the early rotations of some of these hard points. They got early on P2. They let the Mutineers break in, get the remaining 30 seconds. Then they rotate early to P3. Once again, the Mutineers break it. And then right there, they only need 9 seconds. Neptune went on a 7 spree at the very end of the game to pick up those streaks. Completely caught NYSL off guard. But the Mutineers, man, they just came out clutch. And we were talking about that clutch genes. Every single map so far that they've played, including yesterday, every single map went down to the wire, man, and they just continue to have that. Slack playing well. Neptune, 11 spree to end the game. Phenomenal plays from Florida.
Yeah, man. And again, that was just great coordination. I know we're looking at the replay right now, but just overall, such great coordination coming in from Florida. I mean, the back-to-back streak usage, they're able to get green control, and once they do, New York, they run pretty much right into their lap. And that's the way to start off a hardpoint if you are a Florida fan. Again, hardpoint's kind of been one of their major strong suits as of late. Now make it 4-1 in this first stage. Definitely seeing some improvements, and they're feeling good coming into this S&D. New York, it's their time to answer. We've got some good old search and destroy on the way right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the CDL. How about that first map? Some interesting stuff. Really, if you're in New York, you can't allow for that to happen. Most importantly, you can't allow for that to really kind of add into this next search and destroy study. Really, for New York all season long, it has been about this team and momentum. Speaking of momentum, we'll go and take a look now at the game fuel keys to victory first for NYSL. Study, what do we got?
They had to win that first hardpoint and hand Florida their first loss so far throughout the major. And unfortunately, they do not do that. But Clayster also has to step up and be better because versus OpTic Chicago, he had a .72. He needs to lead by example. So far, he's a 1.13 on the season. So I know he has a lot of young players on his team, so they look at this guy for the leadership to rally all the troops together. And when he's not performing well, it's definitely going to shake up this roster.
That man holds a lot of power, and for good reason. Three-time champ trying to rally, as now we'll go and take a look at the game fuel keys to victory here for the Mutineers. Continue to dominate in hardpoint, 5-0 during this major. Some impressive stuff coming in from the Florida side. Along with that, Skies and Awakening must shut down the AR duo between Clayster and Diamondcon. And really, a lot of that kind of comes into this next search and destroy, right? We got a lot of checkmates obviously up next, every single opportunity that we can get. And really with that kind of comes into the meat of the conversation. Checkmate, a lot of long ranges, and when we talk about Krigs, we talk about XM4s, always going to be apparent, especially in the search and destroy mode. And when we talk about search and destroy, it almost feels hand in hand, right? Awakening has to be involved in that conversation. The guy has been electric for Florida in regards to those first bloods. We can list off a number of different stats for this guy, but again, Florida, despite having those first bloods, despite kind of having a lot of those advantages, haven't been winning too many search and destroys. So again, if you're in the Florida camp, you're happy to walk away with what, that first hard point, because search and destroy has not really been your game. Also, Florida on this map, and shout out to our stats team, 0-3 on Checkmate S&D, hoping to right some wrongs today.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to turn this around, man. But if you're the Subliners, this needs to be the map that you guys win. We saw them defeat Dallas Empire on this map. Clayster was huge, opening up with big first bloods onto Crimsix basically every single round. So Subliners are really comfortable on this map. Hopefully they can answer here to tie the series up 1-1.
Yeah, in desperate need of it, right? I mean, I think, what, in 4 out of the 6 series for New York, they've been a part of sweeps. Two of them they've sweeped, 2 of them they've been swept. So again, you're hoping it's not going to be the case here based off the way that Florida has began this game. But New York starting things off on offense, and like I said, I think we know this map pretty well based off of that last search and destroy. Both teams starting to get a better feel for it. Nice shots from Awakening as he'll now even the man count at 3-3, but it comes down to this top plane. Slack just narrowly manages to get away. The teammates actually toss out a nade to try and cover him. So if you're Mutineers, there's great awareness of Slack's positioning, but that's going to be Asim planting the bomb down, and Florida looking for the retake.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Awakening. You see him trying to get an angle on the guy on bomb, able to take down 1. So now this is going to open up the bomb side. Here comes Slack with the second. All left up to Diamondcon in a 1v2. He's able to take down 1. Slack's going to hop on the bomb. That's going to be an easy kill for Diamond. Is he going to get the third? And just like that, Diamondcon 1v3 on the very first round. Oh, if you're New York, you needed that. You needed some momentum. You needed someone to provide a spark, and Diamondcon has just done it.
How about the plays from the rookie? Skies looks the opposite direction. You see, they all wanted to go for the challenge. They all figured where he might be. But Diamondcon, all too superior, finds the hat trick to start things off. And what a play coming in from this guy. And what, he's currently number 7 in the CDL with a 1.22, and showing us why that's exactly the case. The young man showing out early, and we talk about rebounds, we talk about regaining Florida. You got to regain after that one. That one has to hurt.
Yeah, especially because it was a 1v3. If you were Slack there, you shouldn't have hot bomb. It should have just been a double challenge from you and your teammate. But communication just wasn't there on that round. You're going to see them on offense now. Finally get that trophy system onto that site. You're going to have 2 players from NYSL in towards. You see Mack switching up the positioning. Close to the bomb. Making sure he plants the trophy so he's safe a little bit. The only thing you have to be scary about is that number 2 player in Skies. You see the angle that he has. He's watching the entire underwing. Might be able to have an angle on Mack as well. The Neptune making plays, able to slide to the left wing, jump through the window, able to take down Mack. There goes the second from Awakening. There's the third. Now it's all left up to Clayster in a 1v3.
Vet put in a difficult spot. They're just looking for an angle, and that's going to be the bomb rotating over to A, and smartly so. Get away from Clay. Don't allow for him to get any control, and he pretty much gets sandwiched as he enters into the gate. But I got to say, man, that opening from Neptune, I think he slid underneath the window, because I was curious, like the player who was on the bomb, I want to say it was Mack.
Yeah.
I think maybe he just slides underneath and he's not able to see him. I don't even know if those windows are open. I'm pretty sure they are, but regardless, nice movement again coming in from Neptune. We know the Florida Mutineers on this map, especially Neptune primarily. Good memories on this map, despite 0-3. Right, has that 1v4 not too long ago. Yeah. But again, it's Awakening starting things off hot. 4-1 for him. On a nice 2 spree. You'd like to keep advancing that. Granted, checkmate, not the greatest for streaks, but you can make it work. We saw it happen pretty much last game. New York now back on the offense, and that nade definitely could have caused some problems as both teams looking for the picks. Guys toward that back box position. Still looking over, but it really is a waiting game. Waiting game right now.
Yeah, Neptune is their safety net. Him laying outside of that wing, making sure that he's using his headset to the best of his ability, making sure no players are pushing up towards that bomb site. So he's going to be the opening player that's going to make that difference. Will NYSL read his positioning? You see Mack able to locate a player in skies. 38 seconds remaining. Slack's going to be black exit. But here comes Neptune once again making the play from the wing. Able to take down the bomb carrier. Now NYSL tie it up with a 3v3 with a kill from Clayster. Now it's going to be a 3v2 from skies. Mack's going to drop now to 2v2 situation. NYSL have to plant this bomb. All left up to a 1v1. Clayster knows his positioning. He's trying to do it all, but the Mutineers are going to walk away with that defensive round. Clayster, that Diamati is not going to be the AK-74 you up close. Tremendous plays, once again, out of Neptune on that round. Just being in the position that he was, able to take the guy off bomb. And eventually, all the other players on his team were able to pinch him out. Huge 1v1 win out of the Mutineers right there to put themselves up 2-1.
Yeah, and that one has to hurt again if you're NYSL. Again, I feel like we continue to talk about it, but Slack making the big plays in a crucial 1v1 there versus Clay. But we reset, back to offense we go for Florida, and it's Sky's kind of being that island player over at A Street. I know at the beginning of this game, we saw a lot of fast plays over in the plane, but teams have really started to kind of slow things down. Everybody's starting to get a better idea of the angles. You're not really going to see too many players get caught off guard. See quite a bit of that Florida pressure going over toward A. They really are looking for this pick, and once they do that, that's going to allow for their objective man in Slack to be able to have a little bit better of a position, but New York not granting anything yet.
Just trying to gain some information. Diamondcon's going to open up with the first blood, so now it's a 4v3 for the NYSL. Awakening with some great shots onto Mack. Able to make it a 3v3 now. 29 seconds remaining on the clock. You see the bomb carrier. It's going to be on the bomb. Clayster's going to be able to take down Sky. Slack's going to commit to the gunfight now to 2v2. Diamondcon able to take him down. Diamond trying to do it all, but another 1v1 between Clayster and Awakening.
Clay v Awakening, and Clay actually comes from the skies. Can he win the fight? And he does. A huge 1v1 comes in from Clay, jumps off the wing. I was hoping we'd be able to see it again, but it's Clay really all throughout the round making the best plays, and obviously finds the most important one, the one that matters the most, the one at the end. I'll tell you what, he jumped off, and I'm not sure how aware that Awakening was in that moment. I know his awareness is at 100, but Clay making the next level jump is able to catch him off, and that's New York responding. Constant 1v1s, and Clayster's able to win this one. Now level 2-2, and back and forth we go. Again, a lot of forces established toward this A Street. Offense maybe starting to get a better understanding of the way to play this. Picks often can come from that side. Diamond with the SMG looking to make the plays up close, but there's nobody bottom playing. There's nobody even near.
You can see the adjustment that they made. They made sure that Neptune wasn't going to be that playmaker once again. Cleared out this left wing. So now all they have to do is just put their focus on the inside of the plane. Awakening. Some shots on the Diamondcon, not able to take him down. Mack's going to go in first. He's going to get traded. Awakening with the second. Now it's a 2v3 situation. Now left in a 1v3 is Clayster by himself.
Another clutch. A hard spot to be in. Checks toward his left, takes down Skies. So 27 seconds left. You've got some time, but it's not a whole lot. Based off that positioning, Awakening's gonna be prepared. Clay hits the shot, and again, it's another 1v1. Clay versus Slacked. Be careful with that utility, but not a whole lot of time left. Slacked is trying to make the play, and he's actually not gonna go for the plant. He's assuming Slack's gonna go for the challenge. Does he spot him? Does he spot him in time? Goes for the kill, but Slacked is gonna hide behind the seat. Oh boy, that one got a little bit too close for comfort. But again, these rounds just coming down to the very, very end. And somehow Slacked is able to stay alive. I mean, what? Clay doesn't go for the plant, a risky play, but given the timing, you feel like he has to kind of do that. Oh boy, what nearly was another 1v3 there, Study.
Yeah, Slack played that beautifully, though. You saw the positioning he was towards the very end of that round. He spotted Clay go inside the plane. Once he didn't spot him on the bomb, he's just playing his life perfectly. Clayster tried to make the 2,000 IQ play right there, but it doesn't work out. You're going to see Awakening open up with the first blood onto Clayster this time around. And there goes the trade from Asim. So now we have a 3v3. Slack's in a position to take down one as well. So Mutineers players trying to step it up. But Mack and Asim able to take down two. So now it's all left up to Skies in a 1v2 situation. Bomb is going to be down right side. It's a lot of work to do with such little time.
Granted, he does have a little bit more time than Clay, but he has some information to work off of. Mack still pre-aiming from that back staircase. And I tell you what, as someone who plays a decent amount of league play, that challenge, when you're inside the plane, the players just kind of playing the heady over at the stairs. It is, it's not a fun fight. Let's just put it that way. But Caesar, no bueno. Subliners, they grab another.
Oh man, Asim just went huge right there. Even though Clayster got first blooded, Asim with 2 on the round. Big kill onto Awakening. Turns around, comes back. Was able to take down Neptune as well off the top wing. Just evening up the numbers. Evening up the numbers from NYSL. Now we're at 3-3. We're going into another offensive round for New York. So far, Florida has been opening it up with a lot of first bloods. You see Clayster 7-4 right now for this team. Will they try to eliminate the positioning from Neptune again? Making sure he doesn't jump up on that top left wing. This time Neptune decides to push through this A-bomb site. Might work towards a flank, but Awakening with some great shots onto Mack forces it to be a 4v3.
The first blood for Big Wake. Clayster, meanwhile, stunned by the utility. One-timer trophy is not there to save him. And if you're the offense, hate to be down a man, especially with a guy like Mack, who can probably play up close into those early plane engagements. Asim goes for a few shots. Really nothing landing. Bolts coming in from Clay. Asim up close. There goes the bottling career. Awakening needs a new nose after that. 3 versus 3. Thought we saw another 4 Mutineer player go down, but a near 1v1 engagement over at the A Street, and Clayster is going to smell it out. Spots Neptune from up top. The nice angle runs right into the line side of Diamondcon. Again, man count still in favor of NYSL. But here they come, right onto the bomb. Slacked is prepared, is only able to drop one of them. Now 1v2, and Sky's not able to win it. NY again, now grabbing the advantage, up 4 rounds to 3.
And the thing for Florida is you open it up with another first blood, so no one has to commit to a challenge. Everybody just does at that round right there. They all drop 1 by 1, and eventually it turns to a 1v3. If you're Florida, you open up with the first blood. You just got to force NYSL to put that bomb down at one of these bomb sites. You got to force them inside B. You had a couple players in there, but just a little too aggressive on that round in their defense. Able to open it up for NYSL. Now they're at 4-3, 2 rounds away from closing out this map. Awakening, 9-6. At least 3 first bloods on the map so far. Number 1 S&D KD, and it's showing. These guys trying to push up this left alley. Able to spot a player in Clayster. He's going to put down some shots. Clayster trying to do everything he can to stay alive. Here comes the nade. Team shots out of Awakening. Good positioning out of him to eliminate Clayster. Now it's a 4v3 in favor of Florida.
That Craig is just acting like a turret over here at that A Street, forcing New York to try and reposition. Neptune's over in Wood Fort. That's going to be another pick. New York now brought down to just 2. One player actually going to be bottom playing. Mack gets some good visuals, so he also ends up finding the kill, but he's communicating to absolutely nobody. Nobody there in the comms to help him out because they are all done. And back and forth we go. What, Florida continue with these first bloods? We'll get to watch the first and opening pick here. Guy's not able to really win the fight over at Forklift, but gets the communication. Good presence from the ARs of Florida. Really make New York uncomfortable at that A Street. Converting right now is Awakening reaching double digits, 11-6.
Oh, man, every time I feel like I watch Florida, every single map is close. We're on round number 9. Awakening 11-6 right now. They are on defense. You're going to see they're trying to go for the same exact setup that they had last time. This time, Awakening is going to push the flank through that A Street. He gets that angle onto bomb. He also spots bottom plane. He's going to be able to call out 2 players, Mack and Clayster, who crossed on the bottom left. You see where Skies is positioning. Great spot out of Skies right there, investing in this game once again. Able to open up the first flood, but Mack with the trade.
The trade from Mack, and there's another shot from Skies. Not just investing in his game, but also investing in his aim. Lovely work coming in from Caesar. As again, New York put in a pretty awkward spot. Talk about how slow checkmate can be. When you lose man count, it just makes those pushes even more slow. Really only one portion of the plane to watch. Max hoping to be the guardian angel right now. Diamondcon has to peek out. Could be in a good spot. If he can commit to this flank, if he can really round the corner in time, he can see a few of these players. Nice long shot on to Awakening. Big Wake wiped off the map. Meanwhile, Neptune, in the midst of a flank of his own, is Diamondcon gonna read it? He's not. Mack on the flank, able to take down 1. Neptune v Mack. And he has to try to make the play. Neptune peeks it, and he's gonna be able to win it. Can he get to the bomb site in time? And he will. Continuous big plays coming in from the rookie, 18-year-old Ice. As we talk about this guy, the grind that he has been on in regards to these search destroy tournaments and wagers, it pays off.
Oh, man, that one hurts if you're NYSL. Mack, all you have to do is just stay alive inside the plane. Obviously, you had the line of sights in front of you that he was nowhere near that bomb site, but he just dies in the nick of time, gives enough time for Neptune to eventually get the defuse. But great positioning right there out of Skies. Open it up with a 2-piece, but it was all on Awakening. His positioning right there was able to give the comms to Skies, so he was able to pick up that 2-piece. Awakening, once again, 11-7, man. Really stepping up in the search and destroy. #1 S&D KD throughout the entire CDL. They find themselves 1 round away from closing out this map. If you're New York, like I said, this map needs to go in your favor. Going down 0-2, the new roster, can be really difficult to try to fight back. You see Florida is taking their time, using their tacticals, trying to gain any information that they possibly can. You see Mack on the bomb as well. They're just taking their time. Slack making sure no one is pushed up in this plane area. Awakening, trying to work towards the bottom in this plane. So far, NYSL are not giving them any info.
Low and steady. And it's been these picks. Neptune spots the head of Diamondcon. Clayster as well may have just seen his shoulder. You see everybody, they're just trying to lock down as much visuals as they've got. Clayster finds the pick onto Slack. Neptune will be able to recover the bomb, but no avail. They are hurting right now, and Mack sees the next one, Awakening all by himself. Can he use the movement? He's not going to be able to, and we have got ourselves a round 11. It has been back and forth really all game long. To no surprise, got ourselves some good old OT. Mack making some great plays over at these wings.
Oh, man, checkmate. Rounds 11. These guys have a great relationship today, man. Let's see. Gonna have the Mutineers on offense. NYSL with a great defensive hold right there. You're NYSL. You got to force Florida to try to plant this bomb. So far, Florida have only planted the bomb once on every single offense they have played so far. You're going to see Clayster pushing up this aLLeY with his teammate in Diamondcon, but Sky's in a position to cause havoc. But Diamondcon, great shots with that AK-74U, able to open up with the first blood.
The ARs, they go for the A Street side, and it works out well. That nade very well may distract Diamondcon for a moment. He's going to pretty much stay in that portion of the map. Meanwhile, Florida, they're going to look to try and hold on. It's locked up close. He's just dancing around. He's skating through the aisles. Really just about, again, when it comes down to this pick, you got to try and get yourselves an angle. They want to try and take down Diamondcon. They know he's still at least somewhere around this position. So big gunfights coming in from both angles. Awakening's able to take down Asim. Meanwhile, Neptune off the top crate, or really off the top rope. And there goes another. That's 3 straight. Clayster now down to him. Early shots onto Awakening. 13 seconds left, and that bomb is going down. But Neptune is not even going to allow for Clayster to have an angle at it, as the Florida Mutineers grabbing their first victory here on Search and Destroy. Checkmate, and what a way to do it. Despite the early pick, they're able to rebound, and they find every single kill afterward.
Man, NYSL opened up with the first blood. Time was starting to tick. Eventually, the Mutineers had to make a play. Awakening with some great shots onto Asim. All the players have to do is just back up. Like I said, force them to plant that bomb, but everyone is in a position to drop. Awakening opened up first. Neptune, with great info on the map, was able to find Diamondcon. Then it was all left up to Clayster on the back of the steps. Oh, man, if you're NYSL, that one's going to sting, man. You find yourself, your back is against the wall, down 0-2 in this series. You have to fight back. Once again, man, Mutineers showing that clutch gene, man, all the way down to the very end.
Clutch gene indeed, man. What, 13 and 8 from Awakening. Fantastic play from him. 2,700 damage. Putting in the work and obviously living up to that title of, without a doubt, being one of the best Search and Destroy players in the game. I know for a moment we had the ability to take a quick look at Clayster's cam. Not a happy camper. He is not thrilled with the way that this one has gone, because you're talking about back-to-back maps where they probably have a good opportunity to win it. And I know that Clayster's obviously not been too happy about, some communication, some comms, but I'm sure they're not ultra lovely right now. Probably not the greatest thing. Let's go ahead and revisit this map. Let's go and revisit one of the best plays with our U.S. Army tactical play. And this one coming in from Neptune. Again, Study, we can't talk about it enough. The plays that this guy has made on this map and mode specifically, clearly changing things up, and really in a big moment in the game where really both teams can take the advantage. It's Neptune on the flank. Well-deserved. Is one of the best plays in this match.
Yeah, Diamondcon opened up with the first blood to tie it up at a 2-2, but Neptune, taking the long route towards the back of that plane, was able to locate him. Now, you see the positioning of Mack right here. He's at exit door. There's only going to be 14 seconds remaining on this clock. If you're Mack, just stay alive in the plane. Force the guy to push you out. He decides to drop. Unfortunate for him. But for Neptune, perfect timing to get that defuse. I feel like this guy and defuses, especially on this map, have a great relationship. And he just clutches up for his team, man. Those are the rounds that the NYSL are going to go back and look at and just feel like they should have had it.
Yeah, a lot of situations possibly throughout this series where they're going to be doing that. But Florida Mutineers, hey, up 2-0. Not that I would say who would have thought, but based off of the kind of ending situations, you'd probably expect it maybe to go New York's way. But hey, up 2-0. We have got control up next. Can NY rebound, or is this going to be a straight 3-0? Stay with us.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Florida Mutineers, brilliant players all round.
It's all on a slack. This is it.
Just straight up winning the gunfights. Now it's looking a bit spicy. Skies on a rampage right now. Run, Florida. This could be huge. Big weight.
Awareness level 99 for Awakening.
And Neptune starting to look a bit nasty. Welcome to the COD League, young man.
Florida just pulled out some magic to make it happen.
And what a show they're putting on for us.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the CDL Stage 1 Major. Mutineers feeling great right now. Let's go and take a quick gander at our Astro Social soundboard. This one coming in from the Mutineers Twitter. 1 second on the clock. No stress from Neptune. One more hashtag Fear the Deep. Absolutely love it, man. Like I said, ice in the 18-year-old's veins, making the plays, making the right moves, and again, just one of the many plays that I know you kind of talked about it earlier. One of the many plays that New York are going to look back and say, man, we should have had it. That one should have been ours. But again, clutch plays from Neptune, clutch plays really from the entire team in regards to that first hard point. Starting things off well, but again, it comes down to this next control, and at least based off of our quick scope here, 4-3 right now from Mutineers, still an even one from the NYSL. I'm expecting a good one regardless of the current situation going down with the Subliners as of late.
Yeah, and for the Mutineers, you're going on checkmate control. We saw them yesterday versus Paris. Obviously, defense is really strong on a map like checkmate, but they were somehow, some way able to win a offensive round down 9 lives. They just clustered up towards the very end. If you're the Subliners, this needs to be the map, that swing map to provide some energy for this young team. You saw Clayster throughout that entire time with those map losses. It's starting to get to them, but they need to have an answer here or they're going to be going home.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think about, right? This is an elimination game. Like, for those who obviously have been tuning in with us all day, the first two obviously go down the elimination bracket, but these, like I said, your back's against the wall. You lose this one, and you're eliminated. Top 8, $10,000. Obviously, granted, 20 CDL points, cool, but you're getting out of this tournament, and a lot of people expected, especially NYSL as of recent, to really make a far run. I want to say even Miles had them, like, in the finals. So I'm sure he's probably not feeling great right now. Love you, Miles, but still, Florida up 2-0. We'll see what the opening begins to look like as off the rip, Awakening trying to challenge over at that A Street. I just feel like every time we're on Awakening's camera to start off the game, starting things off 4-0 the way that you want to, trying to really continue to make NYSL work for it. One AR to the next, Skies is able to trade on the Clay.
You see what the players on NYSL trying to do, just trying to take control of that plane. Neptune with the big 2-piece on that top right wing, so finally they're gonna get some work towards that A site. There comes some nades, trophies are still not on. Skies with a great wall bang onto Mack, able to eliminate him. But the first tick should come into A. Awakening on the opposite side of the map, pushed up all the way through blue. It's gonna force all the players from NYSL to spawn back yellow. They have to try to locate him because he's causing havoc. That's gonna be 3 down once again for NYSL. Like I said, man, offense is not easy to win. But right now, Florida are just hot.
Yeah, it's not easy to win, especially when Awakening is in your base. He's actually one of the biggest X factors for them in control. 1.26 in wins, 0.79 in losses, 8-2 start for Big Wake. Finally able to go down, but that's kind of one of the only positives that you have right now for NYSL. You're going to that B point without really any presence there as of yet. Diamondcon wins a big battle inside of the plane, but he quickly gets traded. 20 seconds left. We'll see what New York eyes up next. It appears that A is going to be the one that they're eyeing up for now. As Mack trying to do some good work up close, he eventually gets traded out. Skies, he's got the cross, shuts down Asim, has the nade cooked and ready to go. And there's the trade. 13 seconds. Again, for New York, they've got to push over at this bad boy. Down overall in lives, but Mack finally gets a split second where he sees some sun, where he sees some life, but it's all for naught. Time ticks away. New York with no respawns. New York with no chance. Florida, easy and good first early defensive round.
My God, who is guarding Awakening? This guy is going off, man. He's like LeBron out there in the NBA Finals. He's just putting on a show right now, man. He starts off the game with a 4-piece on each one of the players on NYSL. But that's a phenomenal defensive hold right there from the Mutineers. They started off hot, bringing down 3. Once you do that, Awakening with the positioning, like I said, in blue, forces all the players from NYSL to work double the trouble. You see Asim 1-7, Clayster 4-7, but Awakening 12-3, man. The guy's a magician out there.
Oh my gosh, this guy's dominating early. He tweeted out just the other day, y'all see that control? I'm sure that tweet's probably coming again, but speaking of talk, let's actually go to an Astro listening now with the Mutineers.
BSND. One exit door. Exit door, Mack. He's turning. One from yellow crate. 2 from yellow crate. Take our timer. One is
no, he pushes one. He's in our tube right now. Diamond. One blue. Two stairs. One shot. Back. Tube stairs. Play split.
One house dead.
One tube. Yeah.
Let's get our spawn back. One is our tube. He said. Tube dead. Nice. Two dead. Prior exit door. Help me.
Your right wing. Asim. Going right there.
Exit door. Last one was all spawn. Clay. He's B-search weak.
Might go left wing.
Under right and ASD. Under right and ASD. Stop bacon. Stop right. He's under right somewhere.
I'm flash hard.
I'm in dead. Where are we going?
I'm going A.
Yeah, let's go A. I'm top line.
On me, low wing.
Low wing. One plane. Clay is in plane. He's on the point, Joe. He's mid plane, Joe. Watch out, there's not A in top plane.
Yeah.
Watch out middle.
What's there dead?
Middle of it. He's yellow crate. I did.
We've been talking quite a bit about defense so far in this checkmate for good reason. Florida on the receiving end of bad beating off the break. Skies falls from the top plane. We'll see if Slut can get something going over here in bottom plane. He's able to find one, but he quickly gets traded. 15 seconds left, and it's looking like it's going to be another defensive win. And I guess you could say, Study, given the way that this series has gone for New York, you'll kind of take every opportunity you can get. You're saying to the team, hey, it was a defense, we should have won it, but there could be some much-needed positives right now inside of the New York camp.
Yeah, definitely some positive takeaways from there. Defense is the round that you need to win. You saw players popping 2 pieces left and right, which was Clayster stepping up. But if you're the Mutineers, I know you lost a round, but you did not drop as many lives as the NYSL did on their very first offense. So, right now, if the Mutineers do have another dominant defensive round, if it does go all the way to a round 5, they should be able to get defense just based on that round right there. But let's see what NYSL decided to do on their offense this time. Last time Awakening 4-pieced them, and you cannot let that happen again.
Just avoid Awakening at all times.
Yeah, man, he's unguardable.
You just gotta point him out on the map and just be like, guys, just avoid that lane. Avoid that portion of the map. Guy is piecing early, 18-7, has gone on a multitude of streaks. But it is gonna be New York investing heavily over inside of A, and who other than Awakening to at least find the initial kill for Florida, and there goes Clay. Seam drops as well. Really, the board completely wiped from both sides, but if you're Florida, you'll take that. New York, see what they look to invest in more. They've got a nice spread, gonna try to find a few of those picks. Mack goes for the challenge, and Mack's able to win it. Again, top plane control, one that we heavily have to talk about. That's some good visuals coming in, as that's 3 down for Florida.
Oh, and now you see exactly what NYSL are gonna do. They're gonna recap this. Actually, one player is gonna push out. They're trying to focus on these kills as well at this point. Mack with the big first kill onto Neptune. Here comes Asim with the second. Awakening all the way in the back of the tower. Clayster trying to put them some shots, but he's going to get taken down. Here comes Caesar Skies with 2 of his own. But the A point is captured now for NYSL. Gives them 2 minutes to work towards B. They also have a 2 live advantage. So it's all about just taking your time playing trades, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
York up in life count, and Clayster with a nice up close and personal challenge over on Skies. And Chile, just like I said, trying to bring the troops together, find the picks where they may. Seem not a great game to start, but how about the streak that he's on right now? Another one up close. Clayster's going to get the call out. He jumps out, and some nice control being granted now here over at B. One player side challenging in. That was actually Skies. He gets picked off. Nearly 1 tick through for New York, and as long as Clayster's alive, that is going to be even more difficult for Florida to really get some presence. Trying to push their way in from that last hill rotation. Clayster finally drops, but Mack, the solo man inside of the hill, Neptune, it would be a big win if he can grab it. Decides to go for the contest. He gets picked from afar. Now about to be 2 ticks for NYSL.
You see the Mutineers play. They're trying to get in positioning to contest this point, but NYSL are doing everything they can to try to win this offensive round. You see Asim on the point. Eventually, he's going to drop. Diamondcon with some shots onto Awakening, not able to take him down, but they still have the positioning. They have to try to win these gunfights. 2 are going to drop for NYSL, but Clayster's still in the position. He's going to drop the slack, so that's going to slow down the push. But the good thing is, they have a 5 live advantage, so all you have to do is just play these kills, basically play TDM. Just slow down the game a little bit if you're NYSL.
They do drop Awakening, so with that, no respawns left. You're standing in a good position if you are New York. Or to kind of, for a moment, staggering up in their base. Slack decides to go for the rush. Can you really make too much happen? Does manage to stay alive. So, again, if you're Florida, down to Slack, you're trying to do everything you can, and he's really doing the best thing possible. Again, a 1v6 would be madness. He could pull this off. He's going to try to go for the flank, but yeah, just going to go ahead and stay alive. I thought for a moment he may try to go for a flank, pull off something special, but again, we talk about control. It's all about those lives. You want to try to hold on to as many as you can. But really study, they find the opening offense. They're able to get control over at A, and from there, you kind of see how it starts to free open the map, right? Once you kind of get that first point, offensive lives, it starts to get a little bit easier for you. They managed to take enough of an advantage, and really, Awakening didn't have too much to say in that round number 3.
Yeah, and that was a lot on Clayster right there. Him being pushed up all the way through that A alley, just spawn killing the players from Mutineers, or even having them to focus on him in the back of their spawn, was allowing his teammates to just build that point up. You see Mack 22 and 15, really playing well for this roster right now. But if you're the Mutineers, yesterday they had a miracle offensive win versus Paris. They're gonna have to try to do it versus NYSL. Mack's able to open up with 1 Neptune with the 2nd, Asim with the 3rd. Kills are just going back and forth. The last player alive is gonna be Diamondcon. Trying to fight for this plane control. Able to win a big gunfight onto Slack. There goes the 2nd onto Skies, trying to locate the 3rd. Just gonna play his life beautifully.
Nice plays coming in from Diamondcon, but there's Neptune. He's able to clear things away. Again, that A point has been the primary spot for these offenses. Getting some good time right now for Florida, trying to have somewhat of a distraction over at that B point. Having some plane control as Neptune's aware of it, wants to try to hold off this cross. Do not want to give it the opposition any easy angles. Neptune showing off the movement here on the side of the wing. Florida continuing to make some nice progress as that's now going to be 5 in a row for Neptune. Yep. Dodging, diving away. Is this team really off in the distance? They're going to be able to possibly capture the A point just in the nick of time. They're able to do it. So back and forth we go. Pretty much mimicking exactly what we saw New York do in that last round where they were able to capture offense, get the A point early, then focus on B. And again, much like New York were in that last round, life count in favor of Florida right now by about 6 kills.
NYSL just had to take control of the plane. They had to be pushed up, more aggressive on the opposite the opposite team's side. Asim with a big kill onto Awakening. Going to decide to reposition himself, back himself up out of plane. 2 players are going to be in front of him. Going to win the first one onto Neptune. Skies and Slack just taking their time, knowing that they have a 4-kill advantage. They are basically trying to play TDM. Skies with a great kill onto Asim. See Diamondcon trying to push up on this left alley. 2 are going to drop for the Mutineers. Neptune with the trade. So now this is going to have the positioning for Neptune to try to work towards that B point, but kills are just going back in favor of the Subliners. 14 to 11 count. Neptune doing everything that he can at this B point. So far, NYSL are doing everything they can to just try to win this round and close out this map.
Yeah, they're really just trying to hold on. That's a big pick over on Skies. He was really kind of set up in that position that's going to give Florida a nice angle, but he falls. New York, they instantly start to engage. But what can Neptune do? Can he find the crucial kills up close? Is able to find 2. Again, if you're Awakening, you're looking at your team saying, hey, I don't really have a position to go for. If I get on the point, I reveal myself. 32 and 18, Awakening not slowing down. And he can be that Slayer that can cut off New York's spawn, but can his teammates get to the point in time? He's kind of between a rock and a hard place. He's got 2 decisions to make. Does he go back for the point, or does he stay in the spawn? With 15 seconds left, he has to go back in the plane, and Diamondcon has got a shoulder waiting for him. 8 seconds left. Again, we talked about the lives totally turned around. No more respawns for Florida. No more respawns for New York either. Time starting to tick away, and it will be a W for NYSL, able to regain after what has been a very difficult start to the series, dropping modes where we talk what they should have won, but a nice rebound despite what was a slaying frenzy from Awakening all map long.
Oh man, if you're NYSL, like I said, it was win or go home, and they are feeling that pressure now. Now they have the opportunity to complete the reverse sweep. They're going into that map number 4, which is once again going to be checkmate. Boys are starting to warm up, man. They felt really good. That one offensive round win was the round that put them above on this map. Your Florida Mutineers, still okay. You guys lose that, drop 2 offenses, nothing you can really do there. But if you're NYSL, the energy is starting to come back for this team. Hopefully this gives them life in this map number 4.
Yeah, and you know that Clayster wants to try to feed off of that, right? Again, when we talk about this team, it's really kind of based on a lot of momentum. I mean, the amount of 3-0s that we've seen, they've obviously got 3-0'd a few times themselves, but this roster, any team that has Clayster on it, you know that they're going to be fueled up from time to time. And again, big plays coming in from Mack in that particular mode. What he finishes off 30 and 22. Not the overall slaying leader. That was Awakening with 34 and 20, but he does enough to get the team the victory. Oh boy, that was a big game. Obviously, a few slow rounds from time to time, but again, it really kind of comes down to that offense. NYSL, they take the advantage, and that's really what overall makes the biggest difference. But I gotta ask you, man, in this situation, we're talking about the young guys. What do you think Clay's gonna say once he's back from a little bathroom break? What do you think he's gonna say to the team?
Just one map at a time, man. Just focus on the play that you have to make. No one try to do anything extra. Just do your job and just play the way that you guys have been practicing online. You guys should be fine, man. The confidence is starting to build between these teams. They just won that incredible map number 3. They're trying to complete the reverse sweep. We'll see.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a fun one to watch. I hope you like some checkmate because we got it at least one more time. But again, big matches coming up. NYSL tournament lives on the line. Can they send us to a game 5, or are Florida going to win their 3rd straight game? The CDL Stage 1 Major continues right after this. Away one controller that will be the model and design of the winner's choice. The giveaway will start Friday, March 5th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It will end on Sunday, March 7th at the end of the broadcast day. The tweet will be pinned on the Scump Gaming Twitter from start to end, allowing fans to head to their channel all weekend to sign up. So make sure to do it, folks. Like we said, we got all kinds of wonderful things breaking down. We got giveaways afloat, but make sure to obviously tune in. We got the tweet, right here, waiting for it to pop up. There it is. Oh, right there, perfectly. Visit the Scump Gaming Twitter, obviously, to enter into winning that controller. It's going to be your option. What team you going to choose? I don't know. Maybe it's Mutineers. Maybe it's the Subliners. I don't know. Maybe based the way the Subliners are playing right now, maybe you like them a lot. But hey, I'm a fan of these guys as well. But really, to start off this game, it has been Florida taking advantages where they are given. Close out the hard point, probably in a situation where we don't expect it to. Neptune goes big, able to win it. The round 11 search and destroy as well. And then, of course, NYSL respond back in the control. But we got another hardpoint up next. This one on Checkmate. Here are some stats from our very first HP. Slack, the guy on our screen. We always love the objective from time to time, my friend. What, you know, a lot of guys don't really get the props for doing it. Slack doing great when it comes down to the slang. And again, 2 minutes and 10 seconds in the hill. He's doing it all for them on that Garrison.
Yeah, between the two sub players right there, Neptune 29, Slack 29. Between those two players, they're almost dropping 60 kills, man. And that's an insane stat for those kind of players, but when you have Awakening and Skies on your team, who are usually leading the way in those hardpoint modes. You saw the way that they play that first map, NYSL. They basically threw that one away. They were fully set up. They weren't expecting the streaks from Neptune. So I'm expecting this map to be a lot closer. The Subliners to make a little less mistakes, but if you're the Mutineers, just continue to clutch up in these late rounds, in these late maps.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. This entire series has really kind of been all about clutches, and I'm sure that this next map probably has the ability to be that exact same way. Folks, I think we actually have a little bit of a crash going on in the lobby. You know, these game issues happen from time to time, but we're going to make sure that we get everything back in order. More teams, you know, have the ability to kind of work out the strategies, but folks, don't go anywhere. That Checkmate on Hardpoint is still coming up in just a moment. Back, friends, to the CDL Stage 1 Major. NYSL taking on the Florida Mutineers. Florida finding themselves in a pretty good spot, going up 2-0. And we talked about kind of CDL history. New York, they're actually the first team to have been reverse swept this season. That was to the Dallas Empire. Sonny, can they be the first team, or rather, can they become the second team to get a reverse sweep themselves? That's kind of the question on the mind. Is Checkmate Hardpoint coming up next? We love some Checkmate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this map, man. Diamondcon had an unbelievable performance on that map 1. So when you're talking about a map like Checkmate, the assault rifle players need to be there. I'm looking at Clayster, I'm looking at Diamondcon to match Awakening, to match Skies. All the positioning is on this map, especially if you're using the Crimsix. Just play long distance, put down some great shots, try to help your teammates out. But just also make sure that you're keeping count of every single player, not letting anyone try to slip through and potentially break the spawns. But I'm really looking forward to this AR battle. Looking at Clayster to really step up when his team needs him the most, to be the leader for this NYSL roster, to have the potential to end up reverse sweeping the series.
Yeah, man, and we can't stop talking about Clay, right? Obviously, we know he's the face of the team, or he's obviously one of the biggest roster changes that we see during the offseason. Comes over to New York after winning a world championship, right, with the Dallas Empire. But his presence to really start off this season in Cold War, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, I know there's been a lot of people who talked about, you know, what players kind of still have it. I mean, the level that he has been at, I mean, kind of reminds me, like, what, maybe back to, like, 2015, like back in Advanced Warfare when he's winning his first world championship. Like, the guy has been in form, without a doubt, has been kind of leading the team, not just in the in-game comms, but also with his ability to slay. Oh man, but can he bring the team back? Can they go for the reverse sweep? They've been hurting as of late. That series, yesterday versus OpTic, I'm sure was not fun to deal with. Go down 0-2 to start this one off. Both games probably should have won them. Can they bring it back? Can they force the Game 5 here off of this checkmate? All I know is that it's going to be a battle.
Yep, and you see NYSL, they're not going to have the favorable spawns right off the rip of P2. So it's all going to be just how much time you can gain off this middle hardpoint. You see Asim and Mack flying in quick. Asim with the first blood on the slack. Asim with 2. Asim trying to get the 3rd, but him and Mack, great teamwork right there to eliminate 3. Now they're going to try to flip the players from Mutineers out towards Wood, and that's exactly what they do. Great start to this map if you're NYSL.
Yeah, great start to try to get some presence early, and Diamondcon trying to feed off of it. Somehow doesn't even go for the shot punch. It was the reverse. Hits him with the 1-2, then puts in the shot afterwards. Unbelievable stuff early as New York, 25 unanswered points. Clay trying to keep up with it, trying to keep up the pace. Like we said from NYSL, you like that start early, given the way the spawns currently work. That nade tossed out toward A Street. Neptune trying to cause some issues, but that's 3 down. Make it 4 down. NYSL, they cannot be stopped. The middle of the plane, it's theirs. It's their own plane, Study.
Yeah, they just dominate that P1 hardpoint. Now, if you're the Mutineers, you have to try to work around the right side of the plane, try to flip the spawns for NYSL, because they have the potential to reach that 100 points just on this P2 hardpoint. You see the positioning out of Clayster, able to get 1, able to get the 2nd, but that's going to be 3 down once again for Florida. Now all the players are going to be spawning A Street. Mack able to take down Awakening as well. So far, NYSL, they're not trying to go home early. They're here to play.
They are here to play. 6-2 from Asim, Clayster 5-2, Mack 6-1. Mutineers, really what? There's 25 seconds left, and they have not even got close to the hard point. Now here's their first opportunity. Skies is the first one to fall. Awakening as well, trying to make some noise over in that yellow crate, but his presence is going to be made known as well. And as we're looking out toward P3, because if you're Florida, you just got to chalk it up, right? We're down 90 points. We got to rotate for next. Who's there? It's Mack. NYSL, 3 rotations in a row on point. Florida yet to get a second, but you like their chances again. This hard point, very, very scrappy, but if there is a team that has been good at this hill in particular, it's been teams like Chicago, teams like the Subliners. Century to 0 as finally Florida are able to get on the board. But still, the presence that they have early, Mutineers sweat off the brow to finally get something going.
Yeah, and one thing that the Subliners like to do on this hill specifically is pull out 4 XM4s. Just trying to hold down every single lane with that gun. You're going to see Mack, he's going to drop on the point. 2-2 split. Neptune is going to be on this point. Awakening with the 3rd. So now they're starting to gain some time off this P3 hardpoint. 20 seconds are going to be remaining. You see Slack in the positioning that he is on flatbed, able to take down Asim. But look at the positioning from NYSL. They are getting the spawns for P4 and P5. It's all about just staying alive, trying to just slow the players down from the Mutineers right now.
Florida, they get some good time in that last rotation. A pretty scrappy one, but they're able to do it. Still a lot more work to go. Let's go to the Astro listening now with the Mutineers.
Spawn yellow crate. One shot lane. Help me point. I'm coming. He's in the point.
Dead, go.
Nice, I'm helping midpoint. I need their side cheeser. I need their side.
I'm watching out of yellow crate.
Yep. Yeah, make sure you yellow crate. Bring it fucking back. Let's go. I'm going to get bottom lane.
I'm on a 5.
Stay alive on time. They're gonna wrap plane. They're gonna wrap plane right now.
Yo, one's the third step.
I'm on a 5. Yo, team shot with me, please.
They're right now.
Their side, diamond dead. What's the plane, guys?
Yo, I'm close to street.
Top plane. One shot. One top plane. Dead. I want plane. Exit door and plane.
Top plane. I'm close to streaks. I'm too up. I'm pushed up a little bit.
I have all of right now.
I'm yellow crate.
I'm one shot. Watch it right. They're hitting through old. I'm wrapping you, G. I'm looking plane.
There's something.
Outer yellow crate. Low wing.
Alright, there's two left.
Lowing on you.
They're gonna hit the left.
Yeah, I'm getting a tower.
Right. I have your front push on hill.
Okay. I'm watching. What's there?
Asim
is on our box in our plane.
Yeah, watch out our spawn.
Our plane stairs. I'm gonna play light. I'm getting some more time.
What's stairs on me?
Every cross. Yo, no man's box. Nope.
NYSL, they go up 100-0. Mutineers, in the meantime, go on an 80-point swing. Rotation now inbound for P5. Awakening trying to win a big gunfight. He's able to do so, but unfortunately he's met with the nade from Neptune. You gotta say, Study, I like the comms from Florida. The rebound there, everybody was hitting their shots. I thought this may be kind of blow down a proportion early. But Florida, they are not going down without a fight.
Yeah, and I love that Skies was on a 5 spree. You see him at 6 and 14. He did not have a hot start to this map. We said it before the map started. The ARs need to perform on a map like Checkmate. And so far, Skies, at least from the P4 to P5 rotation, they have been able to fight back in this game. Now you see the Mutineers are going to be nice and early setup in this P1 hardpoint off the second rotation. Last time, NYSL dominated between Mack and Asim. You're going to see Diamondcon sliding, able to get the second as well. So no time is going back. Diamondcon with the third. Tremendous shots out of the rookie. Putting down a clinic right now versus the Mutineers. He's not slowing down. He's feeling himself right now.
Diamondcon, NY's con, man, can he keep it up? 4 in a row. Literally wiped away every single player from the Mutineers. This game has been all about momentum, all about the swings. Awakening finally able to take him down. My goodness, what a map it has been. Again, we talk about momentum, the way that this one kind of plays in. Again, it's New York starting early. Florida answers back. New York finally gets some time. Now it's Florida again, and they're sitting pretty over in that top plane. They've also got that next rotation as well. You see as one player finally gets wiped away inside of that top plane position. It's Florida referencing back, trying to make sure they're going to be in a good position to not lose this hill, because this is going to be their key. This is going to be their ticket back in this game. Sky's watching from that back fin position. NY possibly going to go for that wraparound, which is so common on this hill in particular, with just how wide the spawns are. Never can be too careful, but board gets cleared. Florida, a good spot to tie back this game, especially when Skies is playing like that. Impressive stuff from Caesar. Can he make it 4 in a row? And you bet he will.
So far, the Mutineers have held this beautifully. They're going to have 20 seconds remaining on this hill. They're going to be able to take the lead once again for the very first time on this map. Diamondcon trying to set up around this plane area, just trying to catch the players from Mutineers, trying to rotate out from this P2. He's able to take down one. He knows there's another player trying to push up this aLLeY. Is he going to win the gunfight? No. Slack is able to take him down. Here comes Asim trying to do everything he can, but Neptune with the trade. So initial time is going to go in favor of the Mutineers. They have really came to life in this map 4.
They have, again, we talked about New York. At times, will pull out those 4X and 4s, especially for a hill like this, as you talked about in an earlier study. Neptune from that back yellow crate. He's trying to get some time, and you see Florida right now kind of in somewhat of an interesting spot spawn-wise. Awakening probably wants to stay in this position. If you're New York, you have no idea that he's going to be there. But based off those spawns, for what? Diamondcon and Clay, they may have somewhat of an inkling that he's there. Awakening drops. Neptune really just trying to get any time that he can. Trying to get some free seconds, some nice transition from fight to fight. Again, 13 seconds left, and Awakening is hitting beams from afar. Takes on a player on the other side of the map. 7 seconds left, and it's going to be Florida set up now for a street. Neptune on the cross. Be aware of those flanks as well. New York, we've seen Mack do it constantly on this one in multiple respawns, and now it's Clayster's turn to try and heat up on 3 himself and then try to get that top plane control, which is what you need to do if you don't have the hill. With these trades, Awakening able to drop another. Diamondcon now hops in the hill for New York.
NYSL able to get in. Now the time is starting to go in their favor. They're only 50 points away from forcing it to a map number 5. Clayster on a 5 spree. We were talking about the man. He needs to play well on a map like Checkmate, and he has answered the call. He's trying to play for those spawns. You see his teammate, number 5, who's going to be Asim, jumping in wood. Now they flip the spawns. So far, NYSL are putting them in a position to try to close out this map. Great shots out of Asim. Pick up that 2-piece, but job well done out of NYSL. Now they're going to have the spawns for P5. They just need to stop at least 1 to 2 holds from the Mutineers, and they'll be able to force it to that game 5.
Yeah, New York, you put yourself in a good position. Again, here at P5, you can get some really good seconds. NYSL trying to set up shop, really trying to set up camp. Trophies are out. The angles are watched from Mack. Guys trying to make a play here over on that flank. Is Diamondcon going to raid it? He doesn't have to. His teammates are watching over his back. Time getting ever closer to that 250 mark. One more push possibly in the cards for Florida. Neptune drops from the top side of the plane. Skies and Slacked, it's all up to them. Asim beaming them from afar, and that's not going to be any closer than that. New York are going to send us to a game 5, Studdy.
Oh, baby, another game 5 for us, Lando. I cannot wait, man. NYSL, they gotta be feeling really good. I promise you, when we go to that 8-player cam, the entire energy of this team is gonna switch up. They have the potential to be the 2nd team of the year to complete the reverse sweep, and they're putting themselves in a position to do so. Those first 2 maps could have easily went in their favor, but it's all gonna come down to one more, man. Who wants it more? Winner go home.
And you can just see really on their faces, right? Just a totally different looking roster. I know it's kind of, you know, calm, cool, collected, but really after those first 2 maps, right? It was Clayster kind of leaning in the back of the chair, you know, probably asking some questions saying, hey, how did we lose that? How are we kind of in this position? But focused faces from Asim, from Mack, the entire team ready for this upcoming game 5. And again, like I said, this team, they build off of this stuff. Clayster, he was made for positions like this just in regards to the way that he's been able to do things previously. He relies in situations like this. But we've been talking a lot about ARs. We've got to give some props. Asim finishing 31 and 19. A major game coming in from this guy. And he really looked down the board. Really 3 XM4s to close out the game. Asim and Asim and Slacked, the only players with the SMGs, and Asim is able to put it into good work. But hey, man, like I said, these elimination games, these teams, hey, their backs are against the wall. They know if we're out, we're done. Stage 1 is totally done for us, and both these rosters are giving us a show, my friend. I'm excited. Game 5, Miami Search and Destroy. Stay with us. It is going to be a banger. Who's going to come away with it? We don't know.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile. now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Welcome back to the CDL Stage 1 Major. Things are getting hot and heavy, baby. NYSL, Florida Mutineers, treating us with a good old Game 5. Headed to Miami Search and Destroy. What, maybe home court advantage for Florida? Probably not. It's just pixels, folks. Regardless, myself and Lando Study on the call. Buddy, I have no idea what to expect in this Search and Destroy. What, last time around, it was around 11. We talked about maybe some throwaway things here. In that last S&D, but one thing to not throw away are the stats from this guy Awakening.
Oh man, you're going into this Game 5. If you're NYSL, this is your main focus. It's shutting down the #1 player in Search and Destroy throughout the entire CDL. We saw the last time that the Mutineers played this, they played it versus Paris, came into a lot of clutch situations. So far, we keep talking about it. That clutch gene for this team just tends to keep on going throughout the series. But if you're NYSL, momentum is in your side now. You win 2 maps straight. You have the opportunity to complete the reverse sweep. What kind of strategies are they going to bring? I'm looking at someone to just shut down Awakening, man. The guy's a magician out there. You shut down this guy, you have a great chance at winning Search and Destroy.
I like that, man. Just simply shut down Awakening. It sounds easy, but at the same time, it's just so difficult. It's not. Consistency in the S&D, really, from New York. Clayster, overall, greatest KD, most kills for the team, sitting at 9 and 8. But again, just wasn't enough. Comes down to that round 11, and it ends up going the way of the Mutineers. But, you know, when we talk about Miami, I feel like we've had a few opportunities to kind of watch Florida on this map specifically. In terms of record, they're 1 and 2, but really, or excuse me, that was for the New York Subliners. They're 1 and 2. For the Florida Mutineers, they are 2 and 1. So totally reversed. But in these situations where we've got to watch Florida, it's the Craig, right? The Craig at the long-range fights through that mid-street. You're not just looking at Awakening, but you're also eyeing up Skies as well. One of the biggest X factors in Search and Destroy, Skies, pretty much to put it simply, when he plays well, the team sees success. When he doesn't, the team loses. Looking at guys like Skies, and then really, it's kind of I really like Miami a lot, to be honest, because it's not just the ARs, but that top purple fight oftentimes kind of comes down to the plays of the SMGs, right? Throwing a shoulder, trying to make sure that you're entering in the right way. Really, everybody's going to have to be at top tier in order to stay alive. Because again, elimination match, folks. The loser of this game, they're done. Winner, they advance. But here we go. Game 5, Miami S&D. I don't know how the heck we got here, but we did. Treating us on this lovely, lovely night. Miami, a great place to be in the evening time. But here we go, Study. Here we go.
Game 5, man. Win or go home for both of these teams. You're going to have Florida right off the rip on this offensive side. One thing about this map is that early first blood is so useful to whichever team gets it, especially if you have a player like Skies or a player like Awakening that's going to go towards that top balcony and try to watch over the complete middle map. But it's looking like the Subliners are going to stack 3 towards this B site. Number 7 is going to be Diamondcon playing his life alone at A. But you see the way that the Mutineers are trying to play this, making sure that no Subliners players are being aggressive towards Garage. Just trying to slow down, gain some information. It's going to be a long time before we see some action.
Unfortunately, that may be the case, but given the tense situation right now, you can't really blame either of these teams based on the way this series has gone and based off of the way the last Search and Destroy went. Properly investing the majority of their forces at B are NYSL. Seem ever patient over in top piano, and for good reason. Slacked. See if he can catch the timing. In a few of those steps, is able to find a pick early on as it seems. Slack's going to be there to trade it. Flat and Skies give each other a nice high five, say nice work, but the job is not done. Awakening with a nice early one, but he's going to be able to get the call out. Slack's there for the trade. So now it's all on to Diamondcon, the rookie, In a 1 versus 2, a lot of momentum gained from these early rounds. Some nice shots into Slack, but he's able to scurry and stay alive. And really, it's just a matter of where Florida are going to position themselves, and this is where Skies likes to be. In this back parking garage, Slack's going to try to go for the overextension, the rotation. Diamondcon's trying to check every single corner. Again, time's starting to tick away. He's hearing that all the time. Looking every single direction, he just can't find him. Knows where Skies is, and he's just trying to figure out where is Slacked at. Where is Slacked? And he's right on your flank. Great early play coming in from the Mutineers.
Oh, man, if you're the Subliners, once again, man, you open it up with the first blood right there. I don't like the play out of Clayster. He just decided to slide out of that big room and challenge towards the garage. Awakening was able to open up with that easy kill. And Mack, he had to play for the trade. At that point, he was one shot. So eventually, the bomb was going to go down. The hat tricked out of Slack in the very first round. Even though they ended up getting first blooded, man. Once again, the Mutineers just continue to clutch up when they need to the most.
Again, it's Slack, dude. It's Slacked over and over again. Making the big plays for the team. As we're going to see New York fast and aggressive over toward this top piano position. Asim goes for the peak. Neptune's aware of it, but the nade is actually going to miss. The nade's a little bit short. The other one will slow down the push, but because of that missed nade and because of the control in the map positioning, as Clayster finds the first blood, Florida are going to have to back up. And that's exactly what Asim wants to have. But again, as soon as he peeks out, that's when Skies can try to get through the shots. Neptune's able to walk away with the first. Diamondcon for the trade. Diamondcon for 2. Awakening. Now in a 1 versus 3. Again, the guy that you want in this position. His teammates lose over it straight. He has to make the rotation. Gets here just short of when he needed to be. Again, 30 seconds left. A lot to do in a short period of time. As long as NYSL just play the numbers, play properly, they're going to be able to even this up at 1-1.
Yeah, with 23 seconds remaining, the bomb is going to be planted. You know Clayster's going to be sitting on this outer heady. No one is going to fully commit to the gunfight. A team shot is going to come in, NYSL, with the answer on their offensive win. I like that they took control of purple. They set the tone with their aggression in their very first offensive round, so it's going to have players from the Mutineers to make some adjustments to make sure they don't give that top purple as easy next time on their defensive round. But Diamondcon, huge two-piece from that top purple area. They knew that Neptune had to be in a close positioning. They were able to just take him down. Now they found themselves on defense once again. The Mutineers, they like to wrap this bomb every single time. Whenever they push it up towards 1, they're going to come back and eventually work towards the opposite. It's looking like they're going to send 3 players over towards this purple building. 1 player that's trying to go towards top balk, which is going to be Skies. Actually going to switch it up and go driveway. But look at NYSL. Just taking control of this beach side. We saw how Toronto did it yesterday. It worked out very well for these guys. The positioning out of Diamondcon right now can cause havoc for the Mutineers players.
Yeah, again, really be aware of that number 7. If you're Florida, just hope you catch the right timing for whenever that flank may come around. Mack ever so careful. Takes off the head of Neptune. And meanwhile for Florida, lose really a very valuable player. You no longer have vision over in top piano. But the way that this site works, you just have a lot of different angles to work with if you are the Subliners. And a nice shot from Asim, known for his SMG, but he can also do it with the AR from time to time. Mack's able to pick him apart. All comes down to Awakening again in back-to-back rounds. The slow push and the nade to lock things away. NYSL now up 2-1.
So you saw right off the rip, you had Clayster and Diamondcon who were playing that A site. Once Diamondcon was all the way pushed up through that beach side, Clayster wraps back. Diamondcon single-handedly has that A site. And it was just great picks, one after another for Mack, holding down that top purple control. You're the Mutineers. So far, you have been first-blooded twice out of the 3 rounds that we have played. You're going to see New York just completely switch up the play this time. Going to send every single player towards this A site. Going to have 1 player playing the top balcony. Trying to just take control of this beach. Placed him with some great shots. Able to call out 2 players for his teammates. Going to see Skies just trying to back up. Trying to play with Awakening, but the bomb is going to be going down. Mack, unfortunately, is going to drop, but this is going to put the pressure on Mutineers to try to break.
It's a reliable Diamondcon able to trade. Meanwhile, Asim's trying to get up close and personal. And how about Skies? Literally, top of the camera, never going to be able to see him. Clayster finding slack on the flank is now going to bring us to a 2v2. And really for the New York players, they're not near the bomb. Really, both of them kind of somewhat spaced out. Again, you're trying to get some visuals, and really from Florida's perspective, there's not a whole lot of time left. Diamondcon's watching over it. Skies has to go for the challenge. Is able to win it, and there goes Clay. Can anybody get there? Did Skies get there in time? Did Skies get to defuse in time? How fast?
No.
Can he punch in the digits? It looks as if it's just going to be a little bit slow. Barely. The NYSL hold on to the round, but boy, was it close. Came down to the wire. And really, I think for MeStudy, it's these continuous response from Diamondcon. He kind of clears things out. Granted, Asim ends up dying up close, but he kind of is that stable force. He's the guy who's kind of staying over at that beach side, watching the bomb, and from there, that was the reason why Florida, despite New York not being near the bomb site, due to his presence along with the others, it makes Florida never really have confidence that they can go for that defuse.
Yeah, because the positioning out of Diamondcon and Clayster, they both had a line of sight onto that A bomb, so they had to eliminate both players. A lot of focus was on Clayster because he was sitting at that driveway, but just not enough time for them to hop on that defuse, so they're going to find themselves down 3-1. You're going to see Mack in the same exact positioning. But once again, look at Diamondcon, all the way pushed up on beach. This time he's not going to hold. He's going to decide to commit to the flank. The Mutineers players might not be able to read this.
Neptune occasionally looking at the flank. Again, all eyes on New York's con man. Here comes the nade. Unfortunately for Asim, not going to affect Slacked all that much, but as soon as he peeks away, can he get away in time? He does. Big situation, and a nice three-piece coming in from Big Wake. A massive play coming in from Florida's finest. And now all on to Diamondcon. A 1 versus 4. Momentum, without a doubt, granted for Florida. And there we have it. A round and a statement from the Mutineers.
Oh, man, if you're Diamondcon, you just got to go a little quicker there. Your teammates were calling out that they were playing that bomb, so obviously you have teammates who are watching over you. And if you're not taking out this guy, it's going to be a pretty difficult task for you to try to win the round 3-piece for Big Wake, getting the hat trick. Find themselves now down only 1 round. You're going to see NYSL this time on offense. Do they decide to do their aggressive B push? Or are they going to work this bomb towards A again? You see Clayster and his teammate Asim working towards the slow garage. 2 players from Mutineers are trying to push up this time on beach side. Not trying to give up all map control on that side of the map. Awakening slowly but surely, pushing up to this boat. Diamondcon is giving up a positioning, but Awakening with the first blood.
Diamondcon, he's had really nobody to, man, he's had nobody to really talk to over at the beach. Finally, when he does, Awakening there to shut him down. Continuing on the spree, but meanwhile, it's NYSL getting all close over in this alleyway. Skies ends up slipping. Clay there for the trade. So now we've got ourselves a 2 versus 2. And really for Florida, they've got a jaunt to make.
Mack's in a great position to try to cut these players off, but Awakening knows it. He's able to put down a couple shots, so Clayster's going to get this bomb down. So Awakening, his job is to basically focus on Mack. Neptune has to try to locate Clayster. Time is starting to tick. This is one of those huge rounds that can change the momentum of the map. Awakening trying to put down some shots onto the player in Mack through the middle of the map. Mack just trying to play his life, but he's able to take down Awakening. Now it's all left up to Neptune with 20 seconds left in a 1v2.
Neptune trying to speed over to the bomb, get some shots early on the Clayster. He's got that trade most likely coming in from the back, and he will. A solid return coming in from NYSL, and really you're just trying to slow off the momentum that Awakening started. And obviously it finishes off with 3 in the last round. He finds the early pick on the Diamondcon, and kind of based off of that presence, NYSL, they kind of have a free sight. Right, the only person they have to deal with is Slack. They get him away. It's a free plant from there. They really just play the numbers. Florida were able to kind of slow down the bleeding in that round number 5, but again, it took a 3-piece from Awakening. New York now grabbing themselves the 4-2 advantage, and I gotta say, so they kind of coming into this, right? Florida, this is their first time playing a Game 5, right? They're the last team in the CDL to play a Game 5. Do you think that has something to do, or maybe it plays a part in this search and destroy?
I don't think so, really, because these guys have just shown that clutch gene in every single one of their series so far. Obviously, this is their first Game 5, so they're getting pushed to the very end of the stick on this map. But you see what they're trying to do now on their offense. They're trying to work up towards this A site. You see one player that's still in purple is going to have a big gunfight versus Mack, but Mack's able to win it. Awakening with the trade onto Clayster. Awakening with 2 great shots out of the young man. Now with 40 seconds remaining, you see Diamondcon trying to put down some shots from far beach. Able to locate 2 different players there. So you're going to see that number 5 player just try to get closer towards his teammate. But all they have to do is just try to stop this bomb plant. 30 seconds are going to be remaining. They know the position of Diamondcon, Skies with great shots. Now it's all left up to Asim in a 1v3 situation.
A nice angle lineup from Skies. Asim going to have that pressure coming in from the back, and he's able to deal with it. The nade making things a little bit awkward. Nade not going to do any damage to Skies. What can he do? Both are going to challenge, and the Mutineers are going to come away with it. I got a little bit scared there for a moment, Study. I thought Asim was able to read it. The bomb is down. He's got 2 players somewhat spaced, but best play, well-deserved. And how about the transitional shots from Awakening? Again, he makes the play in the rounds that Florida have won. Finds 2 big ones there. Applies some good pressure on a Diamondcon who, no pun intended, was playing the island. In Florida, they're hanging out. They're hanging around. 3 rounds to 4. Defense up next for them. Maybe a new look for NYSL as they're eyeing up A to start.
So far, NYSL have won 3 offensive rounds. So they're a lot more comfortable on this side of the map. You're going to see they're going to have, once again, that A push. This is going to be a complete blind counter from where the Mutineers players are. They're going to have 3 at this B site. The only player on this side of the map is Awakening. Don't get it twisted. That guy's a tough pass to handle, even if he's by himself. You see Clayster in this top window, trying to catch the players off the rotation. But they should be able to work this bomb plant with ease.
They should. No one dying as of yet. Asim, free plant. What really does free mean at this point? Lead, for sure. Gonna be shed. Here comes Neptune. It's the early call from his teammates that Asim is going to be down low over at the beach. Slack, meanwhile, through that mid-street, is going to find the first blood. Here come the early shots. Asim trying to play the time, able to find Neptune. 2v3. Diamondcon and Asim looking to try to shut down Skies together. And can he stay alive? He actually does. Skies is able to stay alive. They're going to run right past each other. Skies is able to stay up. Clayster from afar just has to play the timing, and pixel perfect is James Eubanks finding the big 1v1 to not allow for the defuse. And as all the young guns are fighting over here at the beach, it's the vet from afar watching over the bomb site and now putting New York 1 round away from victory.
1 round away from completing the reverse sweep. It will be the 2nd team to do that throughout the entire season so far. Big plays coming out of Clayster, repositioning himself, make sure he played the safety net for his team. 1 round away from closing out this series. It's looking like the Mutineers players are just going to commit this towards that B site. 2 players from Subliners are going to try to stop them. Looks like they're going to be aggressive in top purple as well. So gunfights are about to come down. 2 slides come in, Asim with 1, but Neptune with the trade. Gonna go 2 in his favor. He spots Clayster as well, so they should start working this bomb plant here. They only have to locate 1 more player. And now it's gonna be a 3v2 situation in favor of the Mutineers.
What?
Clayster.
What?
Some great shots through the wall. Unfortunately, not able to get the kill. He's gonna jump right over. Now it's a 2v2 situation, but Neptune's there to even it out. Now it's a 1v1.
Play off of that play. Sets up Diamondcon. We've got ourselves a 1 versus 1. Diamondcon v Awakening. With Diamondcon, can he go for the raid? Awakening's gonna see it, but it's Diamondcon! An unreal play up close. Takes down Awakening in the 1v1. Will put in the defuse, and it's the rookie going big for the team as New York stay alive here in stage 1 and complete the reverse sweep.
Oh, man, and if you're Diamondcon, your very first Game 5 in a major, and you come up big for your team, this provides so much momentum, so much experience for this young team. You gotta be feeling good. Only the second team throughout the entire CDL to complete the reverse sweep, and it comes here at the major. Gotta take my hats off to NYSL. They fight to the very end. They come out on top.
Oh, the Canadian Crystal Diamondcon comes up clutch for the team. Just, I mean, you're in that moment, man. What, you kind of get that set up. By the way, Clay, what the heck was that, man? Like, just has the perfect read. Is able to put in some shots. He gets aggressive on the bomb site that then sets up Diamondcon there for the clutch and gets the right timing, gets the nice early engagement, early shots onto Awakening. And literally from Clay, sweat off the brow, man. I mean, that is just a situation where you're New York and you're saying, guys, if we lose this series, especially after the way they looked in the first 2 maps, like, I mean, I don't want to talk about roster changes as of yet. I know there's a lot of talks about where Hydra's at right now. Is he on the way to the States? It looks as if he is. A lot of pressure on this NYSL team, but they are able to bring it back. Really, nobody standing out dramatically from either side. It was really all about teamwork throughout this entire game. But my goodness, what a match, what a game. And props to Florida Mutineers. I know their stage 1 ends here, but a lot of good plays, a lot of good things to work on. But again, search and destroy, it's been the talk for them. It's been the talk for them continually, and it continues to be.
Oh, man, and like I said, man, if you're the Mutineers, you just got to go back and just clean up your gameplay. A lot of the maps they won so far throughout this major, they have had to clutch up towards the very end of the game. We saw them in the very first 2 maps. They won a hardpoint 250 to 241. They won a 6-5 search and destroy. And yesterday versus Paris on that control, they were able to win an offensive round. Today, it wasn't there for the very end of that series, but NYSL, like I said, hats off to them, man. They played amazing.
Yeah, we got to take really a look back at that last round with our scuff play of the game. Again, this I'm sure we're going to see it on the timeline. We're going to see it on Reddit after this one is over. So again, early kills, 2 versus 3. Clay has the read on Disguise. Granted, doesn't kill him from this position, but goes over the wall, takes him down. And then really from there, I know he dies, but it sets up Diamondcon for the 1v1. And really from there, again, it's kind of just about timing. Again, you're trying to play this one correctly because you got the objective to work with. Diamondcon, he goes clutch here, stud.
Oh, man, if you're Awakening, you're not expecting Diamondcon to wrap the entire map and come up behind you. He was just watching over that back alley, but Awakening, he's going to win that gunfight. A Crimsix versus an XM4 up close. Going to give it any day to that XM4. Like I said, man, if you're a Diamondcon rookie year, you got to be feeling really good. You just came up for your team. You had a tremendous series for your roster. And to close it out like that, in a reverse sweep fashion, NYSL, their momentum has to be through the roof.
And you see him already on the timeline, right? Just wanting to maybe
just checking it out.
Send some GGs. I mean, who knows? You know, maybe he gets a little bit crazy on the timeline from time to time, but who knows? But let's take a look at how the bracket is now shaping up. Subliners get the victory here. Now looking at LAG here at Elimination Round 4. My goodness, man, we got a ton of great games to go. We got LA Thieves and Ultra up next. It's going to be absolutely insane. But oh boy, again, series, it treated us. It was absolutely excellent. But we actually got a nice little interview here after the quick little break. It is Clayster and Miles standing by. More Call of Duty on the way, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. It is now time for our Game Fuel Victory Spotlight, and I am joined by possibly the most relieved man on the face of the planet right now, Clay. Where do we even begin, man? What the hell are you feeling right now?
You know, I'm just hoping nobody checks my task manager. You know, it's just a little worried about that. But you know, it was a mixture of emotions throughout that series. I'm glad that we ended up showing some ice for once, and you know, we're able to complete a reverse sweep against a pretty good team. So just happy for the boys, happy for myself, happy for the org, and just glad that you know we get to fight another day.
Right on, man. It was one hell of a fight, and it's going to be a fun one tomorrow as well. But I want to talk about experience now for the squad, because obviously, I mean, I joke about it all the time that like it's you and it's the kids, right? What has it been like as the only veteran in the team who's been around the block a few times to really be ushering in like 3 guys who don't have nearly as much experience? You know, is that a difficult thing to do alone?
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's been super mentally taxing on me. Like I've hit my breaking point a couple of times, and it's nothing against them. Like they're at where they should be in their career, right? Like with their experience and how well they're playing and kind of like how they work. But you know, it's just super frustrating being the only one on the team who really has like a know-how of what should be done and how it should be done. And you know, you see that inexperience crop up, and like even in that match there, you saw it crop up in the first 2 maps. Even the second map, we get first blood round 11, and instead of backing up and playing trades together with our numbers, everybody sits in solo spots, and that's like an inexperienced, under-repped thing that you know you do if you just haven't played a ton of COD or a ton of like this level. And so, you know, it's definitely a learning curve, and there's definitely some growing pains, and it is definitely very mentally exhausting on my part, and I'm hanging on by a thread here.
Well, dude, we can imagine it is very difficult. And honestly, as far as it goes for the fans and for yourself, it does look like things are coming together slowly but surely. So we wish you the best luck there. Clay, that's it for the questions, mate. Is there anything you want to say to the fans, to the org, to your opponents, to whoever you're going to be playing next here in the tournament?
Nah, man, just shout out to the teammates, shout out to the org, and shout out to all the supporters supporting us out there. And, you know, it was a devastating loss yesterday, but we're able to bounce back with a reverse sweep against a very good team in Florida and play the Guerrillas for a top 4 spot tomorrow. So, hey, if we can get top 4, you know, I'd consider that a success with this team. And really, you know, obviously we're trying to win, but just hope we can show up tomorrow versus Guerrillas.
Round. Thank you very much again, Clay, for chatting to us. That was your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. You're going to write one hell of a memoirs one day, dude. Congrats again on that big win.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good day.
You too, man. You too. Right. That is it. The mighty Clayster's going to be checking out. We're going to have one more series to close out the day on what has been one of the most ridiculous here in the CDL. We're far from done. It's going to be the LA Thieves going up against Toronto Ultra when we come back after this quick break.
Acting up, acting that way out of pocket. For the grind, for the hustle, I can't knock it. Do what you do, you could try. Yeah. I've been up, I've been stuck up in the sky. Yeah. Know me at the top, I can't lie. Haters watch it, throw the piece, tell them bye, 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 bye. I got things to do, I got bands to get. Competition up in smoke, ooh, cannabis. Ask me why I'm a top 10 candidate. I'm so fly, I'm so clean, ooh, and I'm rich. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the scoreboard, I'm running up stats. Numbers don't lie, that's facts. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the numbers, I'm running it up. I got penny bands, I'm thumbing it, yeah. Tell them move. Get up out the way. It's ludicrous, yeah, how much I'm getting paid. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10K. No mob ties for the player being made. Now how you spoke to your girl, better check her phone. And do you know what she doing when you not at home? And when she tell you she alone, but she not alone. She got a lot of options, eeny, miny, mo. She gon' do what she want, ain't no stopping it all. Hold a liquor in the cup, yeah, I'm topping it off. I might take your girl, take a trip to the mall. Put the shelf in the bag, yeah, cause I'm copping it all. I'm saying, they can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the scoreboard, I'm running up stats. Numbers don't.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CDL Stage 1 Major. Lando and Study on the cast for you. Another elimination match on the cards. LA Thieves taking on the Toronto Ultra. We're still in the virtual studio, feeling great, feeling fine. Study, we just had an incredible Game 5, and I'm hoping for similar things in our last series of the day.
Yeah, I'm really hoping the same, man. I'm really hoping that the LA Thieves just completely forget about the loss versus the Guerrillas, man. Watching them in that series, just not the team that we were all expecting. But on the opposite side, you got Toronto, who just came off an intense Game 5 versus Minnesota Røkkr, winning both hard points. Oh, man, this is going to be a series.
It is. Like, so, you know, kind of two teams who maybe to start off the season, you're thinking probably Thieves. But based off the way the Ultra have looked as of late, I know there's been a few people in the predictions kind of thinking otherwise. We're talking myself. But hey, regardless, let's go ahead and start off with our first team, Slasher, Kenny, the whole group. Let's go ahead and meet the LA Thieves.
Come with my gang, with my squad, what the fuck you want? So I got people just tuning in.